Hey everyone. Welcome to Abscission. Move, kitty, you're in the way. Thank you. Ashford, Massachusetts, a town like any other. Stanhope, you're there, I need you. It was a direct reflection of humanity that clustered within it, its flaws and its virtues, whilst also presenting as a macrocosm of human something. It had the capacity for healthy growth, but when it was infected, it could burst. Versailles, Ashfield. Thursday, August 1st, 1991. At 10:07 p.m. Stanhope will be presented with alternative ways to handle a conversation based on 4 temperaments: melancholic, detail-oriented; phlegmatic, calm; sanguine, social; choleric, driven. There is no one approach that works best for all conversations, and Stanhope will need to use all of them in order to proceed the best he can. This game adapts to your choices. People will remember how Stanhope spoke to them and may respond differently in the future, so consider each response carefully. Stanhope's destiny is in your hands. Choose wisely. I believe this game is in development. It's not finished yet. No one's using the elevator tonight. You'll have to take the stairs. Why? Sorry, man. As I said before, I can't tell you that. But it's our building. That's the way it is. We go? Want to take the stairs? Hell no. This cop says we can't use the elevator. That's bullshit. What about Mrs. Takahara? You want her to walk up 3 flights of stairs on that hip? Sorry, but the elevator can't be used. I don't know how many other ways I can say it. We'll go to a damn bar instead. Sorry, man, you need to stay for the moment. We may need to ask you some more questions. I don't believe this. I want to talk to your manager. Officer Bruce, would you look at that? Will Stanhope, what the hell are you doing here? This ain't a vice case. Hey, Hogan, is this a vice case? Busy, Bruce. Well, it ain't. I can't remember what they are. I believe this was calm. Easy, I'm not looking to step on anyone's toes. All I know is that Luna called me in. Why would she call you? You had to ask her that. Anyway, if I can help, I will. How do I get to the crime scene? Top floor. Only way is the elevator. The top floor is unlocked. Unless you fancy the fire escape. Oh, so he can take the elevator. Hey, I swear to God. Bloody footprint. Although it was difficult to see on the red carpet, there appeared to be a blood stain on the carpet, a boot print. Let's take the boot print. Let's talk to the boot print. The man was in his mid-20s. His eyes were concentrated on the ice cream in his hand as he tried to finish it before it melted. The woman was giving Officer Bruce a piece of her mind. I had no wish to stop her. Another woman was leaning against the wall for support. It's me a fleeting smile before looking back to her feet. I'd known Officer Louis Hogan for around 8 years. He'd always seemed generally efficient, though a little too reactive in his approach to make a detective. Perhaps he was happy with his role and didn't wish to progress any further. The man's eyes were darting around the lobby. He was clearly distressed. Officer Steve Bruce was 6'5" of muscle and bad attitude. We had several run-ins over the years, but he was a reliable cop for the most part. Goodness me. Increase the speed a little bit, because that's how I like it. There was a considerable amount of blood staining the cloth that covered the floor. Judged for the color and viscosity, it was relatively fresh. One piece of glass was stained with blood, as though it was used as a weapon. It needed to be sent to the lab. The bookcase held an interesting collection, though not in a kind of order by genre or author. Most of the books were of the works of artists using very different techniques. Warhol sat next to Religio, for example. There were some classics mixed in, such as The Rights of Man by Thomas Paine and philosophical works from Woolf and Craven. Rather likely a lifetime's accumulation rather than a chosen selection from a larger collection. Play handprint, much large, very large rather. Could this be the perps? There were pots of paints, brushes, and a palette on the table. Green paint had spilled and dripped onto the floor, staining the planks. A half-completed canvas was falling on the floor. The image seemed to be a forest, though underwater. Curious image. There was a leather jacket lying on the couch. I assumed it was fashionable, but really had no idea. There appeared to be something in one of the pockets. But a small black book filled with addresses and phone numbers. I decided it could be useful. A patrolman I hadn't met before was standing by the stairs. I noticed he kept glancing up the stairs. His badge read Braintree. It looked like he needed a cup of coffee. There were boot prints leading from the pool of blood towards the elevator. They were relatively large, most likely a man's. Perhaps they were the landlord's. Howdy, officer. You must be Detective Stanhope. Very astute. What's the code? Also the fact I let you in. I'm Officer Dan Braintree. Good to meet you. Where's Detective Luna? In the bedroom. I don't know what she's doing in there. I wouldn't want to stay looking at that. What you know about the crime scene? The most, I suppose. I was the first responder on scene. According to the landlord, the victim's name is Sierra Chandler. She's upstairs. I thought it was just a domestic. What time was the call? Just after 10 p.m. The landlord called it in. What's his name? Carl Laidlaw. It's like something. See anyone when you got here? Just a couple of residents milling around. There are no neighbors exactly, as the victim rented the whole top floor. This place used to be a factory or something. I think they're being confined to their apartments for the time being until we know more. Actually, a lot seem to be buzzing around. Actually, they seem to be buzzing around the lobby. I'll have to talk to Bruce about that. I really don't want to. Spoken to the neighbors? Not really. Hogan was looking after that. Anything else I need to know? Just prepare yourself before you go up the stairs. It's unbelievable. Do my best. No problem. You look tired. Been up since 5 this morning, couldn't sleep. You need a coffee. Oh, but not from this kitchen. Goodbye, Braintree. Text. Right, sorry, sir. Good lord. Her name was Serena Chandler. Never seen anything like it. You sure? What do you mean? No, what is this? Look at her, Stanhope. Look at her. The woman, or what was left of her, was tied to the wall. Her jaw was distended, most probably broken. Her skin was a patchwork of blood and bruises. Ribs pushed to ragged flesh. She appeared to have been hollowed out, with very little besides bone and gristle remaining in the sagging remains of her torso. Curious parched landscape, the earth undernog's texture remarkably opalescent. Brushwork is almost photorealistic. I personally preferred my art a little more abstract, but I could see the appeal. Yeah, I'd rather not. Where were you in... Yeah, never mind. Been here long? About 20 minutes. Surprised you called me. Honestly, so was I. I hope you can see why. Just look at the poor woman. Aren't there other detectives? Isn't Jim Lewis your partner? He's on leave, but even if he wasn't, I think you're a better fit. Don't understand. Do you need my expertise with evidence gathering? Just look at her, Will. Doesn't this remind you of anything? Prosthetics. There was a twitch in her eyes between the lid and the orbital floor. There's a tiny window to the nurse beneath. Let's see. I need to get my head around this scene before forensics get here. I understand. Can you look for some leads while I'm up here? Anything to get us started? Will do. Found a piece of glass that looked like it might have been used in murder. I'll get to Dr. Aldolf. Thanks, Phil. Hope it'll give us something. What you got so far? Not much. I'm still taking it all in. Sorry, it's just... look at her. Yeah, I noticed. Can't imagine what she went through. About this case. Think this is linked to the Lescato case? I don't know what that is. Look at her, Will. Can you really tell me this isn't the same way the others died? I certainly see the similarities, but that means nothing without a proper investigation. Similarities? The body has been emptied. You can't tell me that's a typical modus operandi. Of course not. Look at these ropes. I don't even know what they're made of. There were fibers around the Lescato too, but burned up in the fire. They could have been there. Stretch. Look, I'm not saying that I'm taking Lescato off the table as a possibility. What are you saying, Will? The Lescato case was horrific, and I don't blame you for responding to the emotionally charged media for her. There was a momentary flare of anger in her eyes before she sighed and took another drag of her cigarette. Will, you're a good man, but you need to learn more about people. Have any suspects? Not yet. Hopefully you can find something around here that gives us a lead. What do we know so far? Victim's name is Sierra Chandler. Hogan was getting some more details from the landlord. He was babbling when I got here. I don't believe him. I don't blame him, rather. I could see why. Something else. Really? Yes, well. A long time. 2 years, give or take. Not the way I'd hoped to meet again. Can't pick the hand you're dealt, I guess. Looking after yourself? Yeah, of course. Of course. No, we should catch up. Can't think about that now. There's too much here I need to think. Of course. I don't mean that I don't want to talk. I understand, Luna. Probably more than most. I know you do. Let me have a look around. It was an antique vase, rather plain, but imposing nonetheless. Perhaps it was a family heirloom? Dresser. Heavy wood and well built. Internal function will be added in the full game in order to analyze evidence in greater detail. No? Okay. Really not seeing anything I can do in here. Hello? Blood dripped from the broken vent. The metal was buckled and torn. Could have done this. Large collecting of painted canvases, many of them framed, filled shelves that ran across the back of the wall of the apartment. This was more than simply a hobby, this was a vocation. I asked the landlord about this in order to flesh out the victim's background. It was an artist's easel fallen on the floor, with scattered brushes and a half-completed canvas surrounding it. Sir? Sorry. May I ask you a few questions? Look to the other guy, the cop over there. He said I'm not in trouble. Am I in trouble? I don't know, are you? No, sir. We just need to get a clearer picture of what's happened here. What's your name, sir? Carl Lidlow. I told the other guy this. Relax, just to be polite. I'd like to know who I'm talking to. You're the landlord? Hand janitor, handyman, you name it. Let's discuss what happened tonight. Can you start by telling me your involvement? I wasn't involved, I just found her. So you called it in? Yeah. What time was this? About 9:30, I think. I don't know. The other cop said that was the time. I didn't look. Start from the beginning. If you could, you went up to her. If you could, you went up to her apartment. Yeah, you had the key. I got the keys to all the apartments, my buildings. Miss Chandler didn't have a door as such, but with her having the whole top floor. See, this used to be an old clothes factory, so you need to unlock the bottom button to the top floor. I see. Is it usual for you to visit your tenant so late? I don't know, I hadn't seen it for a few days. I see. Was there anything particular that made you visit so late? I had stuff to do, a leaky faucet, broken light. Why? Just trying to put the picture together. Every detail's important. Please, talk me through what happened from when you opened the lift door. I saw the blood. You've been up there, it's everywhere. I just stood there for a while, scared to move. And I called out to see if Miss Chandler was okay. There was no answer, so I searched the place. I was careful not to touch the blood, of course. When I got to the bedroom, I saw... Yes? Well, I don't know fucking what I saw. You've been up there. What the fuck are those rope things? Who could have ripped her apart like that? Anyway, I ran out of there as fast as I could and called the cops. That's it. The whole story. Found a set of boot prints in her apartment. Any idea who they may belong to? I don't know. She had a few visitors, but I can't really remember them. She did have a boyfriend a couple of months back, some young punk with green hair and metal in his face. I think he wore some big leather boots. Remember his name? She called him Marky, so Mark something? I don't know his last name. That should be enough. It was a start, but I need to find a surname. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the victim. Okay, sure. Looking at her apartment, she seemed to be an artist. Yeah, she was, and a good one, I suppose. Not just an artist, she helped run a gallery, too. Sold her paintings there. Guess she brought some money with her when she came to town. Gallery? Remember the name of it? Starlit Gallery, I think. It's over in Neptune. Her and some other girl ran it, but I never met her. Solid lead. I need to let Luna know. How long have you known her? Since January. I think she moved here from down south somewhere. Said she wanted a fresh start. She ain't local. And she rented the top floor. Said she wanted somewhere with enough space to get her paintings done. How would you describe her personality? I don't know, buddy. She was quiet, you know? Always paid on time. Was polite enough. Towards the end, she sort of changed. How so? In what way? Was she depressed? If anything, it was the opposite. She just smiled all the time. Maybe she was on drugs. She hung around with some shady characters. Like who? People came by, guy. I didn't ask the names. She involved in anything dangerous? Maybe. She wore black clothes all the time, listened to loud rock music, all that stuff. Wearing black clothes is hardly dangerous. I know that, but you know these kids today get drunk all the time, get into drugs, and her paintings were really weird, really oily. I don't know how to describe it. Thank you, appreciate the help. Officer Hogan. Good to see you, Stanhope. I'm just taking some details from the landlord. I'll be done soon. I think Luna's waiting for you upstairs. I'll check in with her first. Will you still be here? Yeah, we won't be done here for a long time. You'll understand when you see it. I already did. Hang on. Can I... through the book. There was only one Mark in the pocketbook, Mark Torrance. I needed to look him up in the APD database. Solid lead. I need to let Luna know. Let's see. Found a name, Mark Torrance. He was involved with Syria. Great work. Can you follow that up for me tomorrow? I'm going to need to stay with forensics tonight to scour the apartment. Of course. Make sure you get some sleep when you can. What's with that twitch on his face? Found out where Serena worked, a place called the Starlit Gallery. I've been there. In Neptune, right? That's what the landlord says. Can you follow that up for me? Consider it done. I had enough leads. Luna could finish up here. It's time for me to get some sleep. The night was unexpectedly calm. I was sick as soup, unmoving, clinging to my bone. Oh, damn it. No, damn it, stop it. Thank you for completing the autopsy so promptly, Dr. Duvall. I appreciate you working through the night. No skin off my nose. Couldn't sleep. My daughter had a puppy for her birthday, and the poor thing seems to be scared of the dark. Cries all through the night. It's like having another child. Please call me Tamer. I know we're at work here, but there's no one else. Why are you always so formal? Person earns a doctorate should be respected, in my view. Please tell my wife that next time you're over for dinner. We'll see how far that goes. Now, shall we get started? Certainly. Alright, do you have the time of death? That's a difficult question to answer. So, looking at the relatively lack of cloudiness within the corneas, I would place the time of death at between 8 and 9 p.m. yesterday. It fits with the statement from the landlord. But the liver mortis, the lividity of the blood as it pools under the skin, places the death at 2 or 3 days ago. And there's still some soft tissue being attached to the corpse and separate. There are aspects of necrosis that could place the time of death at a week ago. How is that possible? Honestly, I'm not sure. What was the cause of death? From the scatter of the organs, you would assume a swift death due to blood loss and trauma. At least that was my first assessment, but the timings don't match. What do you mean? You just explained that. The lungs are relatively fresh. I mean, I wouldn't want to put them on my pizza. Yes, well, I mean to say that, judging from the lack of necrosis, they largely match the time of death measured through the corneal cloudiness. The liver, however, is in a very poor state. The tissue is degrading and necrotizing at an alarming rate. Similar, some of the skin around her stomach also carries the same, well, sponginess, for lack of a better word. Perhaps it could have been caused by some kind of acid? Maybe. If she's submerged in a bath of corrosive agent, acid or alkali could, but no. The skin of her legs, while showing lividity, is relatively well preserved. It's as if parts of her body were long dead whilst she was still alive. Honestly, it's a little disconcerting. A little? Perhaps it would affect me more if I had some sleep. Everything's a little more vague. Have you analyzed the glass shard? Was it the murder weapon? I can't say for sure. Looking at the chest cavity and stomach, the skin doesn't seem to be cut. It's more like a series of tears. To be honest, the skin is in such a bad condition that it could have been pulled apart by someone's hands. Unbelievable. And yet true. With regards to the glass, the majority of the blood matches the type of the victim. However, there was another type. I sent a sample of the database to be checked against existing DNA. Maybe I'll get a match. Thank you. What about the rope that was found at the scene? Rope. Ah, yes, of course. I have a small section of it here. Where's the rest of it? Oh, nice. You'll see why. The hell am I looking at here? Wish I knew. I sent a piece for DNA analysis, but it'll take a day or two. It's organic matter, fleshy yet run through with fibers rather like cooked celery, as if a vine were crossed with a digestive tract. It's a rather tough exterior, but the insides are almost liquid. I'm aware of how it sounds. Please inspect it, tell me what you think. I'm no doctor. I hardly think that matters with this substance. It's moving. This is fascinating, isn't it? And watch this. If I use a pin to agitate it... Good Lord. These strands, are they growing? Apparently so. I'll be freezing this section soon, believe me. This part appears torn. I tried to cut it with a scalpel, but there were some strong strands running underneath the surface. It was like working around knots in wood. It was the best I could do. It appears to be soft on the surface. Sometimes. What do you mean? Shivers on occasion, a ripple that tenses the surface, a spasm of sorts. I don't know what to make of any of it. Why are you even taking this case? You're Vice. Luna asked me, and I have the time. Do you? I'll make the time. If you say so. I'm going to the office. Can you fax the completed report to me? Of course, it'll be done within the hour. Before you go, there's just one more thing. It might be nothing, but it struck me as a little curious. The victim has a tattoo. Is that so odd? Well, maybe not, but it was quite recent. The flesh was inflamed as if it were infected. It was a diamond, bright red, on the inside of her left wrist. Noted. Thank you, Timmer. You'll let me know if you find anything else? Of course. Diamond tattoo, eh? Will? Yeah? Please look after yourself. Will do. I'll be in touch. Yes? Detective Stanhope, it's Officer Braintree. Dan Braintree? Uh-huh. Sorry, sir, but a letter was delivered to you by hand this morning. I left it by your computer. I see. Should have left it... Should I have left it on the other end of the desk? I'm sure I'll find it. Is there anything else? I do have another message from Officer Bruce. Oh, goody. Which is... He said to say that he apologizes for the way he spoke to you last night. Issues at home, apparently. He told you himself, but he's not on tonight. Until tonight, rather. That's good to know. Thanks, Braintree. A pleasure, Detective. I realized it was raining. Odd for this time of year. And there was nothing about today that felt right. That rope that had bound Serena Chandler to the wall like a fly in a web. What the hell could it be? I tried to put it out of my mind. I was always the best person to work that out. I had my own leads, and it was time to follow them up. Alright, I'm going to call it a video here. I'm not sure how much longer this game is. I believe it said that the game was like 15 to 30 minutes long, but it's obviously been longer than that. So, I'll call it a video here. I am the Blues 32. This is Abscission, something like that. TTFN, for now.